There's actually two bad cases that came up, and this is one of them that I was looking at the other night, and I fell asleep because I was looking at the cult leader, and I was like, please tell me there's not more than one, because the way that they worded this was so weird, and I couldn't figure it out. And I found this guy, and I was like, oh my God, he's like this like self-proclaimed medicine man, and the church is a Native American church. It was like this weird thing, and they've been having problems with the government because they promote drug usage. And the guy, oh my God. Okay, so the guy owns like 900,000 square foot, some bullshit in Africa, right? And then he owns like this huge, massive property in Missouri. And I noticed that he was from Lehigh, which Lehigh pops up a lot. So you know about Lehigh and the famous flower. And there's actually some other people online from that area too. So I was like, okay, yeah, we know the area is Mormon, but how does it make what's the correlation to using the Mormons as his cult thing? Because his cult thing is dealing with, I guess, trying to go under the radar for drugs, and then he's a self-proclaimed medicine man, and then he claims that he has the cures for all these diseases, which I was surprised that YouTube even let that stay up, because they were like trying to delete all that misinfo and everything else. But this guy just kind of slid under the radar there, with his whole thing that I have my doctor friends and this is what this does. And I was like, oh, great. And then the guy's like, not this totally hideously ugly guy. And I was like, oh, all the women are going to be like, oh, he's so hot. Tell me anything. I'm going to go run onto his property. But I didn't see anything where there was even a bunch of women. Like, they had this, like, group meeting, and it was, like, a bunch of guys, and then there was, like, one girl, and then they were doing, like, this sort of Native American ceremonial thing, and maybe they don't want to bring it up because it kind of touches on to some Native Americans, but I don't know if this is a group that they would, I don't know. This group here is a little out there, little too much out there. Okay, just something weird. But this lady kidnaps her kid. Okay, mom kidnaps young daughter during divorce with help of adult son and sister, and they actually posted the pictures of the little girl, but they redacted her name. But they show a picture of the little girl, not here, but somewhere else, and they were looking for them. So, with the help of the adult son and sister, and brought her to religious cult run by medicine man. So yeah, that's him. So I was like, okay, let me make sure, because they didn't say medicine man. I go, well, Paul Dean, the name. There was another religious guy with the same name, but not in the area. And I was like, or if he was in the area, he was something else. And I was like, I could end up pulling up the wrong guy, but they're all kind of nuts, So, yeah, the medicine man. Okay, so more than 1,000 miles away. Here she is. She's a Gen X lunatic that wants to do this thing. I don't know what the hell. So, 53-year-old Utah woman, and as I said, he had been in the Lehigh area, and I guess like there was like a website that was called something cult watch something. I don't know. They were looking at the cults, and they started talking about that guy, and then they started talking about some other people, and then he had another name. So if you just like looked for him, he was hard to find. And I was so confused. I'm like, I don't see no Mormon anything with that, or I don't see any like thing with that. And then so he goes by this other name, like Standing Man bullshit, all this other stuff. So I was like, okay. So he has videos on YouTube, and it's under that type of name. And then, yeah, it's like this hippie jippy type of dude. Like, the whole thing, it doesn't scream Mormon to me at all. So I can't say how it's ran on the inside of this compound, but he owns thousands and thousands of acres, and he promotes cryptocurrency. That was the other thing. I go, I don't know what the hell crap this is. It's just like another runoff of some sociopath again. I am a leader. I am a messiah. I am, this thing right here, right? And they don't come off necessarily like they're like some scary, psychopath, but they are, because he wants to be a god. But I guess they're related somehow through family members, so some sort of descent. So he's just probably like, come on out here. Okay, so she kidnaps her 5-year-old daughter during a divorce proceedings in violation of a custody agreement, lost parental rights, and took the victim. Now, if you lose your parental rights, the lady is probably off kilter, because typically, like, they don't try to do that. So something with her. Maybe she's a drug addict. I don't know. That guy totally promotes drug usage. So, then what was it that he promoted? It was a weird drug. It was like a hallucinogenic. And I don't know if it's a typical one that the Native Americans used or something. I don't know. There was a whole thing. And this guy, I had to start laughing, though, because they had this little group meeting. And the guy's like, I was driving, I got totally harassed by the cop. I don't know, dude. It was too much. It was too much. But it was these guys, and then he starts patting him on the back. He's like, so cute, dude. You know what I mean? And it was just too much. It was just too much. Okay, so the victim, with the help of the son and sister to Missouri to live in a religious compound led by a religious cult leader. A self-described medicine man, also said to be a relative of the accused, according to the federal government, which kind of makes sense. So I guess they're probably like, but I was looking at stuff and I was like, okay, I don't know. But Kimberly Jell Davison Drollett was arrested in Buchanan County, Missouri in mid-July and accused along with her son, Jackson Davis, 30, and Dallas Davison, 23, and sister, Christine Merrill, 53, of conspiring to kidnap the child in January 2023 and concealing the victim's whereabouts through June 27, 2024. According to the indictment, the criminal complaint obtained by law and crime, Davison and her estranged husband, Lawrence, at the start of 2023, were engaged in a divorce and child custody proceeding. In Utah State Court, on January 18, 2023, the defendant put into motion the alleged plot to kidnap their child and bring her more than 1,000 miles away to a compound run by a religious cult leader, Paul Dean, the founder of what the government describes as a fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints type cult. See, and that threw me off because I was like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get the correlation. I don't know. I mean, they're trying to... When I think of that, I think of polygamy and them having like 1 million wives and just raping them all inside that compound. But when I looked, I saw a bunch of men. Like there was a bunch of men. I wouldn't want to be the woman up in here, but I didn't see. From what I went, maybe I didn't go far enough. Okay, but it was just a bunch of guys that are like, we should have the right to smoke our hallucinate, that thing. The complaint described Paul Dean as a relative of Davison, but redacted the exact details, only leaving a hint as to connection. Paul Dean is the brother blank to Kimberly Davison, and not accusing him of individually of any wrongdoing. The Fed said that Davison, on January 2023, several days before the alleged kidnapping, sold her car for $13,000, took out $16,000 from American First Credit Union, and in the weeks that followed, drained the remainder of the account, sending it to her sister, alleged co-defendant Christine, via Zelle. The mother allegedly packed her belongings in boxes and duffel bags and put the items in her son's truck, and the three left Utah. And the government claims that Jackson, his brother Dallas Merrill, each played a role in keeping the relative and alleged kidnapping girl hidden from the law enforcement. Jackson is accused of telling law enforcement that he drove Davison and the child to Kansas, where he actually took them to Missouri. Merrill allegedly took Davison's phone, concealed the device from authorities, and falsely said she destroyed it when in truth, in fact, Merrill had given the cell phone to Dallas. Davison used the burner flip phone to talk with the sister, mailed letters back home to other children in Utah. And leaving Utah was not a panic decision or impulse, that she had been planning her flight for 14 months. It further stated that she had changed her and her child's A names and reiterated the plan and had been in place for over a year. Which may or may not explain why Davison Droplet, after her arrest, signed a document as executor of herself as a person appointed to handle the estate, someone who is legally dead. Very end of the indictment, investigators claim that Davison sent texts to Dallas suggesting she was considering fleeing to Thailand, and that she talked about this with possibly Paul Dean. Okay, yeah, so Paul Dean has connections far away, you guys. And I was sitting there going, how does this guy have all this money? Like, this whole thing about it is so shady. And he has a LinkedIn, and then it kind of dissects his, little journey up in here, from way back when. Droplet stated in text messages that she felt safe in Missouri because they don't participate in extradition, and stated that she and Paul had been discussing plans to flee to Thailand. Thailand is the worst. What the hell is? I told you that thing. I was like, that. If you hear anybody talk about Thailand, be concerned, and you want to take your kids over there and hide out. Federal court documents show. Well, also, okay. So another thing with Thailand, besides all the bad, okay, that we all know, Thailand is actually very inexpensive, allegedly, to live, and I've seen a lot of people actually from America go to Thailand because the cost of living is way cheaper. It's a little different way of living, but yeah, so that also, because when he was talking, so some of the things with him talking, he's like, $100,000 goes a long way in Africa. Okay, so I could literally buy half the country, for $100,000 in Africa. So somehow he gets this money, he goes and does that. And so it's probably a similar thing. He probably has a thing in Thailand. Now, if I sat down and listened to all his crap, I probably could figure out all the other places that he has stuff. So he probably went to Thailand and got, maybe he has properties in Thailand because it's inexpensive. So he's taking the money from here and going into other countries. That's why I say you need to watch out for these people, man, because what the hell? This one's like so left field to me. I was like, oh, we got wannabe medicine man. Like, I don't know what the average Indian thinks of this guy, because I know. Okay, so I know, like, they're fine with pot smoking and all this thing, but the guy, the addition with this guy that's bad is he's saying that he has the cure to all these diseases, and that he proved his point with the doctor on COVID, and nobody died taking the medicine that he created. And then for some reason, the government didn't want to use his medicine, nothing natural, and this thing, and try to like explain this in such a way that if you're not educated on medicine and the body and all these things, anything that he says can just sound like he's smart. Like, honestly, because I didn't go to school for medicine. So, like, he's just like, oh, and the T cells and the stem cell. Oh, then he started getting the stem cell. And I'm just thinking stem cell Jesus. I was like, oh, no, here we go. So he's talking about that stuff. But it's like he's trying to equate, like, the medicine that he created could create stem cell. I don't know. It's just like, if you don't know anything about that, anything that he says can be taken in as, oh, that sounds reasonable. Yeah, so any idiot could fall into this. Like, if you're not very critical, you're not a critical thinker, and you believe in that whole thing right there. I like that whole thing right there from the Stone Ages. But yeah, it kind of went further versus, like, I don't know, like the normal homeopathy, all that stuff of the natural, things were always kind of like, it's supposed to help you. You know what I mean? It's more that than it's like, this is a cure. So he kind of puts it out like that. So I don't know, but I don't know what the consensus is, how people view him. But yeah, it's a cult. I don't know any one of them that got into cryptocurrency and bought a whole bunch of land like that. I don't know. There's a thing to it that I was like, I don't know what the hell. But I don't see it as the Mormon cult. Where's the women in it? Like, if she's related to him, it's not like she's being forced into polygamy with them, is she, or what? I mean, I don't know. I honestly have no idea. It's just the most bizarre thing. But on the website, it just had this notice, it's all for cops. And I was like, basically, like, I don't know, it was in Spanish. It was in some other language, dude. It was all like telling them off or something. It's probably saying our rights and blah, and we're native, so we're allowed to do. I have no idea. I just skimmed it and I was totally lost. I'm like, I don't get the Mormon part of it, you know? There's a million other cults out here, and they're not like the Mormon polygamous group. I wouldn't equate them together. She insisted on representing herself in the case at her initial appearance. She's nuts. Does not consent to the proceedings and refuses to be sworn, and that she was ultimately ordered to detain extradition to Utah after providing a signature on a bond document that was not valid. Okay. Well, Davison is scheduled to appear. Okay. Okay. Who is Paul Dean? They actually broke this down yesterday. I actually found it before these people. I put it in my comment section, and I go, I'm scared to run it yet, because if I start like dragging this guy and it's not even him, like it's another Paul Dean, then I'm gonna get, I don't know. It probably would have been okay anyway, because the guy's still a nutcase. But yeah, I was a little hesitant because I was like, they didn't say who, and I go, I think I found him. And then they run the story. So I actually found it 2 nights ago. Yeah, before they ran this yesterday. So the Springfield Daily Citizen first published an opinion column April exploring how Dean, who goes by the name of Man, found standing. Yeah, it took me a minute to find him because I was like, the dude don't go by that, Paul Dean. I'm like, Paula Dean? Okay, I got your eyes, y'all. Okay, wait. So, came to head the Spirited Truth Native American Church and the New Haven Native American Church while identifying himself as a Christian and not being a Native American. Oh, thank you. Because because in the cult topic, when they were talking about him, they're like, he's hiding under with these guys. They said some other people, you guys. And that would take me some time to go down a rabbit hole to figure out who the hell's that guy that you guys are talking about. But I didn't know he wasn't Native American. I was like, oh, these guys that, they could be part Native American. You know what I mean? They could be part this and they want to run with this thing. But they actually had some, like, legit Indians, I think, up in here. And they're waving, like, wing feathers and doing weird crap in this tiny room, just like the cult pastor that I've talked about. It's like a small group of people, and they start doing these things, and yeah, okay, so it makes it even worse. Yeah, so he's not even Native American, and founding a nonprofit buying property in Tony, parts of Springfield, and having expanded acreage in Douglas County. Oh, but you missed that he actually has 900 acres in Africa. Dean has been involved in Native American traditions like sweat lodges. Oh, we know how all those people died at the sweat lodge in Arizona. Yeah, I'm a little scared of all that. If I were ever to do that, it would actually have to be with some, like, legitimate, like, Indians, okay? That know what the hell they're doing. I don't even have a desire for that, but no. Healing rituals and use of peyote as a sacrament. Sharing a link to a 2017 A Dream Nexus podcast YouTube where Dean spoke about how he came to see Bitcoin as an antidote to federal government robbing us, stealing our value from us through inflation. Well, government's a thief and all, but what these people are doing with the money is a whole different thing. Bitcoin, he said, isn't controlled by governments. It was really back in 2003 I became heavily involved in the Native American church. And I got adopted through some expertise in essential oils and stuff. I became a medicine man to get that legal protection and healers. And when I moved out west to Missouri, I was given the right and authority to start my own independent branch of Native American church out here. See? I was like, but I could see all the ladies going, oh my God, he's so hot. I'm going to like totally worship this guy. I was like, what the hell? So in the introductory video, the Man's Bound Standings YouTube page, Gene said he is a Native American medicine man. Yeah, so like you think he's Native American. That's why I was like, I don't know. I mean, he could be for all I know, but and a natural practitioner and the principal medicine chief of the New Haven Native American Church. This is offensive. The church was established to be a place of protection for your own personal beliefs and for your beliefs on how you can control your own natural health and the health of your family. I'm going to be speaking on my page up here about alternative medicines and about natural practices that can assist you in your family's health. Yeah, so now he's a self-proclaimed doctor and he has doctor friends. And I said how much I hate these guys because, like I said, most of us are not, we are not in the field of medicine, and how government promotes this conduct with men. Because, listen, how many people are self-proclaimed gurus and messiahs and Jesus Christ and all these things? Men, right? Mostly these white men. And then government allows them to abuse women like no other and says, oh, they're protected under religious freedom. I'm like, no, they shouldn't be protected under anything. They need to go straight to a mental health hospital. So, yeah, this is beyond my experience with real Native Indians. Okay, because when I was little, we got to meet them all. And I go, I don't remember anything hokey pokey like this a little bit further out there, okay? And so I'm like, I don't know, but that's why I was thinking like maybe they didn't say the Native American thing because it could be offensive to people that they're calling them a cult and then brought in Mormons. So I guess maybe the thing is that he's actually, well, they say Christian, but maybe he's actually like Mormon. And then they brought it in. But where's the polygamy thing? Because when they say that, my brain went right there. Okay, then we got the guru people up in here. Then we got a doctor of some sort. Like, I don't know, dude. This thing's like, what the hell? Okay, yeah, so it was this video.
Man Found Standing. I'm a Native American medicine man, practitioner. I've been asked to share a little bit about the Siaga today. To me, Siaga is one of the most powerful natural healers out there. It really assisted me in my life and my family's life. The things that I noticed right off the bat was I had better energy. Also, instead of going around and being sick for a week or 2 weeks like other people, I'd process a virus in a matter of hours. Other things is my seasonal allergies. When allergy season came along, I didn't have my allergies. And that was something that I'd suffered with my whole entire life. And so after I saw this show up in my own life and my family's life, I stage 4 cancer story and how him taking the Siaga reversed his cancer and it went completely in remission there. And I've been out there and I've been sharing it with lots of other people, getting people excited to use it. And
see, now he starts going into some serious health realms, like trying to say that thing cured cancer. Like, his videos were like that, and I was like, oh no, like, who's this politician?
20 coronavirus pandemic. When we put together the Siaga, some doctor friends of mine and other people who contributed, we put together this Siaga formula specifically to deal with natural or man-made virus pandemics, plagues, things that would turn around and kill 25, 50, 90% of the population out there. We wanted to create something that if someone took it, it would naturally bolster their immunity, naturally give them that extra protection to get over the virus there. So there's other products and like essential oils out there that will go out and kill the virus. It's not about just killing the virus because you still can't come in contact with the sick people. What you need to do is be able to have your body process the virus and develop its natural immunity. And that's what the Siaga does. The ingredients in the Siaga goes out and feeds the bone marrow, the spleen, the thymus, and feeds it sort of like fertilizer on a plant and naturally just increases the number of cells, the activity of the cells. They know their job and they're willing to go out and do the job. And so if you get your immune system fed in such a way, it's not stimulating it. It's not, driving on the freeway in first gear in your car, revving it all up, waiting for an accident to happen. It's actually getting that sports car and cruising on the freeway in a nice, enjoyable speed and ride that you can do it. And that's what it does with the immune system. You naturally feed it so it's modulates. And having a modulated immune system, it's constantly looking around, looking for viruses to attack, bacteria, pollution, things for it to do. And if there happens to be no virus or anything for it to do, what it does is it shifts to stem cell production. And the stem cell production is the fountain of youth inside your body. It'll go...
Stem cell Jesus! Stem cell Jesus! He had to go there. It was just like, oh my God. I was like, but if you're listening to the whole thing, he's like describing cars, you know what I mean? And none of us know shit about anything, okay? Like, if you're talking about, like, I have no idea. Like, there's no way you could sit there and go, oh, I dispute that. Unless you went to medical school, then you could start going, what crock of shit? Like, I can tell you it's a crock of shit, but I mean, you can't go, oh, what a crock of shit, because he's trying to talk about, we don't even know what the medicine is, right? And it's like, what in the hell? Like, it just went off somewhere else. But if you know nothing about that, which about 99% of the population don't, this guy's just going on and explaining your body like a car and is cruising around and using words and whatever. And then he's like, and then stem cells are the greatest thing. Yeah. And then it goes into that. And then there's a lot of people like Nygaard that want stem cells injected into them a million times over. So you start bringing that in, and some people may correlate that to that. And then thinks that this medicine is going to bring in this whole thing. I'm just saying, it's just like, oh my God, I'm so pissed off. This guy pissed me off. He's an asshole. But he's talking like he's so brilliant on this topic. But, okay, wait. It actually gets worse. Like, I think he starts talking about him talking to doctors. Okay, this is about COVID.
Go in and regenerate your heart, your liver, your lungs, your pancreas, and create... the natural fountain of youth. They're from inside all the way out. So when we put together the Siaga, we wanted make a natural product that would assist and give people the natural immunity. And what we actually tested it out early on. A doctor friend of mine had another friend over in China, Singapore actually.
Yeah, apparently they're going to do some studies right here. The studies. You got to hear the study thing here. I was like, what?
And they had 4 poultry workers in the hospital, and they said nothing that they're doing is having any effect. And my friend said they're willing to try out other options. You want to send them some Siaga to try out? And I said yes. So we overnighted them some Siaga. A couple weeks later, we said, how did it go? The results were the 2 we gave it to both lived. The 2 that we didn't give it to died. And I was like, oh, I sent you 4 bottles. Why didn't you try it out on all 4 people? And their response was, well, we needed a control group. And I had to shake my head at that one. I was like, okay, well, where do you want to go?
So they're doing control studies on people. Like, I don't know. This whole thing was insane. I was like, did they legitimately take 4 sick people, take the medicine that this fool made, this random guy, you guys, and send it to China, and then go, okay, we're going to give only 2 people it, and then not the other 2, and then 2 lived, and then the other 2 died. And then now he's using that as a thing that it totally worked, and the 2 people died because they didn't take my medicine, dude. I mean, you know how scary this is, though, really? It's like, I'm going to concoct some shit in my freaking garage. I'm going to send it over to somebody who's, like, literally dying in another country, and you need to give it to them. We'll test it out, because if it kills them, because it could kill them, too, right? If it kills them, well, it didn't work. Oh, well. I don't know. This is insane. This whole thing is insane.
From here, and he says, well, we need to test it out on some animal testing. I said, okay. And so they went out.
Indians and animal testing. Okay, I don't know, Jude. Now we got to get into animal testing. I don't know, but like I said, I was listening to this and my brain was going, huh?
And injected some pigeons and gave them the Ciaga. And the other control group, they didn't give the Ciaga. Same results. The pigeons that got Ciaga, all 100% lived. The pigeons that didn't, all 100% died. From there...
Oh man, we have a 100% on one side, 100 the other side. I don't know how possible this is, y'all, but even with the medicine, right? Because even when we get our vaccinations, it's not 100% live and 100% die. Okay, this isn't even going on. But apparently, anybody that took his medicine lived. Even the pigeons. The pigeons freaking lived.
We were kind of getting really excited, and we're going out and contacting the medicine men who wildcraft the Ciaga and doing all this, and because we were wanting to really get it out there to stop this bird flu. And I didn't hear back, and I finally contacted the gentleman, and he said, look, I spoke with my superiors. They don't want me talking to you anymore. They're not going to look for a natural option to treat this virus. They want to just look at the pharmaceutical drugs. And so I said, okay, and I backed off. But that's when the bird flu came over to the United States, and Big Pharma made all this money from it and all of that. It was quite interesting to see that even though they had animal and human trials and testing success rate, they still did not want to go with anything natural. So the Ciaga is 100% natural product, wild-crafted organic ingredients designed to feed the body's natural defenses and give you the immunity. So thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day.
I don't know if he's getting away with it because when him saying feed, the way he's wording it, I'm just surprised it still was able to stay up. But underneath the video, it brings up a thing about the truth on COVID thing. But this one went out there like as bad as that horse thing. I mean, to me, this is actually worse because he's like, oh, they did these testing and 100% lived. And I'm just like, I don't know, you guys, but, and then I had to end there because I fell asleep. I was like, I don't know if I could take any more of this man, dude.
And so there is that value. And the whole key is to get these nonprofit organizations to go out and assist humanity. Right now, the New Haven Native American Church, we own 9,600 plus acres in Africa, and we're starting up a humanitarian village and farming project over there to help the people. There's lots of these projects that we can do in third world countries to assist in bringing back equality around the planet and assist humanity no matter where we live. Because the dollar goes so far in these third world countries, you can do wonderful things. Like here in America, $100,000 doesn't do very much, but over in Africa, that $100,000 is like 10 million here. So we have great visions of being able to go out and do farming projects and build communities and healing centers and all these things that aren't just throwing away money, not just going and giving people and the village.
Yeah, we all desire to go into healing villages with this fool right here. But yeah, he explains it here, and he like somehow got all this money, and then he's talking about third world. He's going to other countries, and he's trying to take over. So he has this dream probably of, like all these Christians and everything to take over the globe with my vision of my brain. This white guy. Yeah, so it's like the dream, his grandiose bullshit. He should be in a mental health thing. But there was some relation to this thing right here, and I was trying to like understand it. I don't know if it's the same thing. Okay, so let me tell you about okay, so yeah, I was watching this and I was like, it's too much, dude. But like some of these people look like legitimate. I don't know, you guys, but it's really strange. But these are the guys in the Missouri. Oh, maybe I was looking for was it the name? No, I don't know. I don't remember. Somehow it brought me here. But this could be totally very similar to the cult pastor that I was talking about, where he just made I don't know, he's claiming he's like a mafia boss. Well, when he came out into Orange County, he was not legitimate at all, okay? I don't even know what year they came out there. They could have lived out there their whole entire life for all we know. He claimed he from New York. He gives story from New York, but then their entire family lives out here in LA. It makes no sense, but that's what happened. So then in this mix of things, he teams up with Asians that are Christian that are part of their community, right? This whole other thing. And to say anything good about them, the people that helped him out, I have nothing good to say about them. I think they're atrocious, mostly if you're bringing a madam up in here to get him little girl, whatever he's looking for, Asian girls, this thing, and they complied and brought him girls. Okay, this is bullshit. So anyway, they team up and they have this outreach in their community, and so because they connected together, it makes them seem legitimate. And so then people are like, oh, because he's friends with so and so in our community. So if you look at it like the Asian guy is the Indian and they connect, all of a sudden they're like, oh, he must be great. He's part of us. Yeah, it was kind of this thing I think that happened because I was like, I vaguely recall the Asian guy. Like there's the Asian guy was in this. Like they own the office together or some weird thing. But I couldn't tell you other than when they went to the church, they had another church. They had different locations, right? So he's praying on different locations. That at one of the other places, that's where they were at. And they only spoke in their native language. Like I don't know which one because there's a whole bunch. But anyway, they were speaking in they could have been just Chinese. I don't know, but they were speaking in this language. So when I went there, it was mostly Asian. On one of the days off, but at the other place, it was everybody in the public, right? So it wasn't like centrally located on that, and that's how they connected. So then they start branching off with other people. And I think that's what happened here because when they were naming a bunch of people in it, I was like, I don't know who those other people are. I don't know why the other people are a problem. And then they're like, you should call the DEA. I don't know. They wanted to bust them for the drug thing. But I was just like, I don't even know what the hell is going on here because it's just so, it's mixed up with like, you're talking about Native Americans. And if he's not an Indian, I mean, what effed up thing is this? That's what I'm saying. I go, it's just, it's fraudulent. Like, the whole thing is just, what the hell? But where's the Mormon part? Like, even on this channel, right? Like, I'm looking at it, like, there's no, you don't see any type of, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. Native American reservation. Okay, see, James Mooney, co-founder of Medicine Man. Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe it was him that he ran into some weird thing because, oh my God, dude, the whole thing's like, what the hell?
If I'm a federally recognized Indian, okay, I have a reservation card that's given to me. So if I have peyote or my sacrament on me and I'm stopped some highway and they realize that I have.
Well, I mean, he looks legit, right? I mean, I was like, I'm just saying. But it wasn't peyote. They had a different drug. I don't know how to pull it up right now. Wait.
Peyote in the car. If I don't have a tribal card, I go to jail. It's a felony, okay? So Oklahoma Native American Church, as we're standing here right now, is the only Native American church practicing outside of reservations that qualify for the same exceptions. Okay? And so in order to protect the partakers of our sacraments, we supply a card for them. And that's how we do that. That way they are protected when they're doing our ceremonies so that somebody says these people are taking peyote and we want you to fire them because we have a no drug policy. Okay, if that person has a card, he shows that to them. Then he's protected under the First Amendment.
Which is religious freedom.
Yes, exactly right.
Okay, so.
Okay, that's one thing. Okay, so if you want to go religious freedom and my drugs, That's one thing, dude. But it's another to claim that you're this massive medicine man and you're gonna start abusing a bunch of women or kidnapping kids and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so. Uh, oh, I'm right. I'm right. Okay, that's how I found him. Okay, so they have ties to James, Flaming Eagle, Mooney, and Phil Cloud Flyer Landis. Paul Dean is flying under the radar using peyote, marijuana, and oh, this was it, the ayahuasca. I don't know what that is, but I had to look it up because at his NAC, and he has located his church in rural communities. Okay, so with little notice, and he's been noticed by another website for his illegal that I had to look this up because I'm totally out of it. I know about the other thing, but not this. So when I looked it up, so what is this? Okay, it's a South American psychoactive beverage traditionally used by indigenous cultures and folk healers in the Amazon basins for ceremony things. So it's a drink. Watch your drinks, ladies. I don't know. Yeah, and there were just people questioning if it really qualifies as a cult, and then people talk about snitching on him, and then they don't want to snitch on him, and then yeah, there's a whole thing here. So I was like, yeah. So anyway, that was the topic of it. Yeah. I like how they did describe this all. Snitching, it depends on the social identity, the person doing the information sharing. Someone who is not a member of the group owes nothing to that group by war, loyalty, or silence. So you're not a snitch. It's like snitching is being part of a group and then you go tell on them. Okay, so yeah. So non-Native Americans who appropriated plant medicines from the original custodians and are selling access, they're the ones who were to worry about, and the authorities giving attention to them as a result of Trinity indiscreet behavior. So I mean, that's the thing with it. I was like, there's some like legit ones here, but then that guy allegedly is not like Native American. You know, he's not an Indian. So I don't know. You know what I mean? So I was like, I think that's why they worded it the way they did, because it's kind of like, are you trying to go after the Native Americans? But I mean, he's not. So if he's not, then F him. You know, I was like, but yeah, he's sitting there talking about, oh, I should take you to Thailand. And that's the thing. It's like they own property. How many people are they hoarding? That's the question. Like, there's a lot to that. He's like, I'm totally fine for breaking the laws. Come and take your kid here. I'll help you out. Why isn't he arrested? If they're sitting there having discussions about going to another country together, then he's another conspirator. Did he return her? Did he turn her in? The only way that you could sit there and let him go is if he turned her in.